Hey guys, Math Unlocked, and today we'll be learning about finite geometric sequences and series. I'll have some example problems that I'll show you, and then I'll have practice problems for you guys to do at the end of the video. So let's get started. Alright, here's our first problem. It says, the directions say find the last number of the sequence and the sum of the first 10 numbers. So what your sequence is these numbers right here. And what a series is 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32, and it just goes on and on and on for the first 10 terms in this case. So what you can think of the series is the sum of the sequence. Pretty easy. So now let's get to solving these problems. Alright, so it says to find the last number of the sequence. Alright, so if you look down here, this first formula, that is to find the nth number. So we can just plug a of 10 in there. So that's what we are trying to find. Alright, so the n is just the number of terms you have. Alright, so a of 10 is equal to a1 times r to the n minus 1 power. And so we need to figure out what a1 is. Well, all of these are in a sequential order. So a1 is equal to 2. a2 is equal to 4. a3 is equal to 8, and so on and so on and so forth. Alright, so now that you know that, we can find our a1 value. So a1 is equal to the first number, so 2. Alright, now we need to find an r value. And what r stands for is the common ratio. So what happens to get from 2 to 4, from 4 to 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32? So we know that to get from 2 to 4, you just multiply by 2. And to get to 4 to 8, you multiply by 2. And then 8 to 16, multiply by 2. So this common ratio would be 2. Alright, so now we have the last variable n. So what n is n stands for the number of terms. So we have to find the sum of the first 10 terms. And so our 10th term would be the last number. So we need to take the number of terms minus 1. So our n is right there. Alright, so now we can write out this equation. A to the 10th is equal a to the first, so 2, times r, the common ratio, which is also 2, to the n minus 1 power, so 10 minus 1, which is equal to 9. Alright, so now solving this, you get 2 to the 9th, which is equal to 512. So you get 512 there. That is multiplied by 2, and that is equal to 1024. So we know that our a to the 10th is equal to 1024. Alright, now looking at the second part of the directions, we need to find the sum of the first 10 terms. Alright, so now we'll be looking at this third equation right here. So a to the s is just means the sum of this. So this whole sequence right here, it's a. So a1. So a1 is equal to 2. We have that. Then we have r, which is equal to 2 also. Then we have n, so we have everything we need. So now we can just start plugging things in. So a1 is equal to 2 times 1 minus the common ratio of 2 to the nth power, so 10. And then all of that is over 1 minus r, so 1 minus 2. Alright, now we need to simplify this. So 2 to the 10th power is equal to 1024. And we take 1 minus 1024, so that is equal to negative 1023. So we get negative 1023. All that is multiplied by 2 and divided by 1 minus 2, which is equal to negative 1. Alright, so now let me rewrite this. Alright, so now 2 times negative 10 or 1023 is equal to negative 2046 all over negative 1. And now to simplify this, these two negatives cancel out with each other, and we get 2046. So that is the total sum for the first 10 terms of this sequence. Alright, let's move on to the next problem. Alright, here we have our last practice problem, and you can see that it's a sigma notation. Now, it looks a little bit crowded and a little bit weird, so let's figure out what all these values mean. Alright, first looking up here, we got this 10 value right there. And what that 10 value is, that's our n value, and our n value is the number of terms. So the 10 is our number of terms, so n is equal to 10. Alright, second value, the 3 right there. Alright, so that 3 is our a1 value, so a1 is equal to 3. Next value, negative 2. So that negative 2 is our common ratio, or also known as our r value, so negative 2. Alright, so now we have this n minus 1, and what the n minus 1 is just how we get to the next term, because if you had an a1 value of, let's say, 1, an a2 value of, let's say, 2, and our common ratio is just 1, and you just have to add 1 to get there. So this would be an arithmetic sequence. So then to get from a1 to a2, what you have to do is a2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1, so it'd be a1. You can rewrite it as that. Plus 1 is equal to a2. Or a1 plus 1 is equal to a2. That's just a super simplified version. So now we have another value that we have to look at, this n is equal to 1. Now if you notice in the equation I have it written as a equals 1, and that's just a typo, and that was my bad. So that's supposed to be an n is equal to 1. So let's see if I can scratch that out. I apologize if that causes you guys any confusion, but let's keep chugging along. Alright, so I kind of have it get rid right now, but that's alright. So now let's move on and let's find the last number for this sigma notation. Alright, so now we can go back to this first one right there. Well, my brush is super small, so let's just increase that a little bit. Alright, that's good. Alright, so now looking at this first equation, we need a1, check, r, check, and n, check. Alright, so now we got everything, so now we can just plug and chug. So a of n is equal to, actually we'll rewrite it as a of 10, because we're finding it for 10 terms, is equal to a of 1, so 3, times r, which is negative 2, to the n minus 1 power. So n minus 1, so 10 minus 1 is equal to 9. Alright, so now be very careful when typing this into your calculator. Make sure you have these parentheses right here. Make sure your -2 is in these parentheses, or else you'll get the wrong value. You'll get a negative value for this. So plugging -2 in to the 9th power, you get -512. So a of 10 is equal to -512. Alright, so now let's find the sum for this. Alright, so now we go back to using this third equation, and our A1 value is 3 times 1 minus our R value of -2. So we'll just write this -2 in parentheses for now, to the nth power. So our n is equal to 10, so to the 10th power over 1 minus R. Alright, so be careful again with these parentheses. You could end up getting a wrong value. Alright, so now cleaning this up a bit, we get -2 to the 10th power, and that is equal to positive 1024. So we'll have 1 minus 1024 multiplied by 3 of 1 minus, this R value right here, that is supposed to be -2, and we can go plus on that, so we'll get positive 3 on the bottom. Alright, so now 1 minus -1024 is -1023. So now multiplying that by 3, we get -3069 all over 3. Alright, so now let me clean this up a little bit. So now if you take -3069 divided by 3, you get a value of -1023, or -1023. So our sum is equal to -1023. And that is our answer for that problem, along with the A sub 10 equaling -512. Now let's get into your guys' practice problems. Alright, here are your guys' practice problems. Read the directions. You have to find the sum of the first 10 terms and also find the last number for the first 4. Alright, so if you guys have any questions, feel free to comment them below and I'll get back to you. But hope you guys learned something. See you guys next time.